Darkness, silence, the end of everything. A universe dies in a violent shudder of light and fire. Galaxies implode, stars extinguish, and reality itself collapses in on its bones. Amid the cosmic ruination, one lone spacecraft cuts through the chaos, desperate and defiant. On board stands Galan of Taa, the last hope of a doomed universe, watching in horror as all he has ever known crumbles to cosmic ash. Galan's homeworld, Taa, was once a paradise of shining spires and enlightened beings. Now it orbits a dying star under skies torn apart by an unknown cosmic plague. As planets wink out one by one in the night, Galan rallies a small crew of survivors. With solemn resolve, they launch themselves directly into the burning heart of the catastrophe, the Big Crunch, the implosion of their entire universe. It is a suicide mission and a final prayer. Galan believes that perhaps, at the very end of all things, there might be rebirth. The ship is instantly battered by waves of apocalyptic energy. Crew members perish in blinding flashes, vaporized as reality folds in. Galan feels his body disintegrating, consumed by the inferno of creation's end. Yet even as he expects oblivion, something extraordinary happens. Galan does not vanish. In the heart of the dying universe, a consciousness calls out to him. The sentient core of this cosmos, the sentience of the universe, reaches into Galan's very soul. There is no time, no words, only understanding. In this final moment, Galan is chosen for a cosmic purpose beyond his dreams or fears. The universe collapses entirely into darkness. But a single cosmic egg forms, an incandescent cocoon forged from the remnants of Galan's shattered ship. Inside, Galan is neither alive nor dead. He floats in timeless slumber, fused with the essence of a universe. All is silent for eons upon eons. Then, bang! From the void springs new creation, a fiery explosion, the birth of a new universe. Stars ignite, galaxies swirl into existence. And still the cosmic egg drifts, holding its mysterious passenger. Within, Galan transforms, gestating as something new as the epochs pass. When at last the egg cracks open, a towering figure rises from the cosmic cradle. No longer merely Galan of Taa, he emerges as a being reborn amid the star's first light. And in that first newborn moment of the new cosmos, he feels an all-consuming hunger. The newborn giant drifts alone in the cosmos, radiant with power. He is clad in mighty armor of purple and blue, instinctively forged as a containment suit to control the vast energies raging within him. What was once Galan now knows itself as Galactus, neither mortal nor god, but a being of unfathomable cosmic might and ceaseless appetite. In these first solitary moments, Galactus's cosmic senses awaken. He perceives the fabric of space-time around him, still hot from creation. He also feels it, that insatiable gnawing hunger. It claws at him from within, a need for sustenance on a scale no ordinary food can satisfy. This new universe is young and teeming with raw energy, and Galactus must feed or die. As fate would have it, an ancient cosmic observer witnesses Galactus's birth. From afar, Uatu the Watcher, one of a race sworn to observe and never interfere, beholds the emergence of the Devourer. Uatu's massive, solemn eyes widen with dread. He foresees the danger this nascent being poses. In one hand, the Watcher holds the power to obliterate Galactus now, snuffing out the threat before it grows. His hand trembles, but in the end, bound by his oath of non-interference, the Watcher chooses to do nothing. He watches, silently cursed with knowledge, as Galactus begins his long journey. This choice will haunt Uatu for millennia. Galactus's first hunger pangs drive him toward the nearest source of rich energy, a vibrant, inhabited planet called Archeopia. Primitive alien cities dot its surface. Its people gaze up in astonishment, as day suddenly turns to dusk beneath the shadow of an enormous humanoid figure. Galactus descends upon the world, towering above mountains, eyes glowing with cosmic light. There is a brief, eerie pause as if the universe itself holds its breath and Galactus feeds. He extends his hand, and energy floods out like a ravenous tide. Oceans rise into the air, matter itself converting to pure cosmic sustenance. In a horrifying symphony of destruction, the entire planet's life force is drained. Buildings crumble, and the inhabitants' final screams are drowned in the roar of cosmic wind. Moments later, where once a thriving world orbited its sun, there is only a husk of rock and silence. Galactus has consumed Archeopia completely, quenching his immediate hunger. It is the first of countless worlds that will fall to his need. When the feeding is done, Galactus stands amidst the ruins, solemn and indifferent. Deep within him, perhaps a faint echo of Galan mourns, but the cosmic entity's face betrays no sorrow or joy-only inevitability. To Galactus, this act was as natural as a mortal man taking a breath. And yet, he remembers Taa, his lost home, and the beautiful world that just died to sustain him. In an oddly tender tribute, Galactus uses the remnants of his annihilated starship and fragments of Archeopia to construct a new home. He forges a massive spaceborne Fortressa world ship he names Taa 2 in honor of the paradise he once knew. Taa 2 is like no creation before it, a colossal Mobius, strip-shaped megastructure orbiting a forgotten star at the edge of the universe. It dwarfs entire planets, humming with power cosmic. Here, Galactus will rest and build his strength between feedings. In its heart lies his throne and the life-giving technology that converts planetary energies into fuel. Surrounded by the echoes of a past universe and the spoils of the new one, the Devourer of Worlds has established his domain. Galactus enters a deep slumber within Taa 2. As eons slip by, stars multiply across the cosmos. Civilizations rise and fall in the time it takes Galactus to open an eye. But, inevitably, the gnawing hunger returns, stronger each time. When Galactus awakens, the cosmos itself trembles, for his feeding must resume. Yet even as Galactus begins to assert his presence, other primordial forces in the universe stir, and new conflicts loom on the horizon. As the universe finds its footing, Galactus is not the only primordial power roaming the stars. In the dawn of creation, godlike beings called the Proemial Gods rise from the cosmic crucible. These entities sentient and mighty seek to impose their order upon the fledgling cosmos. Among them is Devourer of Chaos, a being who dreams of remaking reality to his whim. Under Devoured's command, the Proemial Gods begin to reshape galaxies, twisting the natural laws and birthing horrors to populate their envisioned dominion. Galactus, awakened by the disturbance, cannot ignore this challenge. The Proemial Gods' grand design threatens the balance of the new universe, a balance Galactus himself is part of. And so, the Devourer of Worlds enters the fray as an unexpected guardian of cosmic order. Across the gulfs of space, a cosmic civil war erupts. The Proemial Gods unleash torrents of eldritch power, shattering star systems in their fury. Galactus answers with the raw, elemental might of the power cosmic. Entire nebulae are ignited as battlefields. The clash is beyond anything the infant universe has seen. One against many, a pantheon versus a titan. In a climactic confrontation at the galactic core, Galactus faces Devourer of Chaos himself. Devourer, wreathed in shadow and flame, hurls a tempest of chaos energy that could unmake worlds. Galactus staggers, but he does not fall. Drawing upon the boundless energy he consumed from countless stars, Galactus retaliates. A beam of blazing cosmic force erupts from his hands, piercing through Devoured's defenses. With a final thundering cry, the would-be cosmic dictator is annihilated. Galactus kills Devoured, scattering the god's essence into the cosmic winds. The remaining Proemial Gods recoil in shock and fear. Aegis, Tenebrous, and others launch themselves at Galactus in vengeful desperation. But one by one they are defeated. Rather than slay them all, Galactus exercises a cold mercy. He imprisons these surviving titans in a dim corner of the universe. In the shadow of a collapsed star, he creates the Kiln, an interstellar prison of unimaginable strength, and seals the vanquished gods within its eternal darkness. Their wrathful screams fade into silence as the Kiln's gates lock, perhaps forever. In the aftermath of the war, the cosmos lies quiet again. Where once Proemial Gods strode arrogantly, now only Galactus remains, wounded but victorious. He has inadvertently become a protector of the universe's natural order, though not out of altruism, but necessity. If the Proemial Gods had remade the universe, there might be nothing left for Galactus to consume. Their chaos would threaten the cycle that sustains him. By stopping them, Galactus ensured the universe would proceed on its intended course and provide him sustenance for eons to come. Drained from battle, Galactus returns to his station, Taa 2, to recover. Stars continue to be born and die in the cosmic ballet that he's preserved. But as ages pass in relative peace, an unexpected emotion stirs within the Devourer: loneliness. In all the vast cosmos, Galactus stands alone, unique and solitary. Even gods have their kin, but Galactus has none. This loneliness, combined with the eternal hunger, will soon drive Galactus to make one of his most fateful decisions, one that could either alleviate his isolation or create a new threat entirely. For uncounted millennia, Galactus carries on his cycle: awaken, feed, restore, and sleep. Worlds vanish into his maw. Civilizations become footnotes in the quiet of space. Through it all, he remains alone, an island in the cosmic ocean. Eventually, this solitude becomes a burden even for a being as immense as Galactus. In an attempt to quell the isolation echoing in his soul, Galactus chooses to create a companion being fashioned in part from his own cosmic power, meant to share in his purpose. From the energy furnaces of Taa 2, Galactus forges Tyrant. This creation is humanoid like Galactus, but slightly smaller, though still colossal to mortal eyes, and imbued with a fraction of Galactus's cosmic might. At first, Tyrant stands as a proud son to the Devourer, learning at his side. Galactus hopes that with a kindred spirit, perhaps the emptiness of endless existence will ease. For a time, Creator and creation wander the galaxies together. However, as Tyrant's power grows, so does his ambition and cruelty. Unlike Galactus, who destroys out of necessity, Tyrant begins to revel in conquest and domination. He subjugates entire star systems, not to feed, but to rule. This deviation from purpose leads to inevitable conflict with his creator. Galactus did not desire a rival or a tyrant over world. She desired an equal to ease his loneliness. The clash between Galactus and Tyrant is catastrophic. Their battle rages across space, detonating planets like fragile glass orbs. Tyrant's raw strength is fearsome, amplified by Galactus's own power that birthed him. But Galactus is the source, the greater wellspring of the power cosmic. In a final titanic duel, Galactus overwhelms Tyrant, ripping away his power and casting him down. Tyrant's broken form tumbles into the darkness between galaxies, utterly defeated. Some say Galactus imprisoned him in eternal stasis. Others whisper that Tyrant survived, lurking in the shadows to one day seek vengeance. Regardless, Galactus's experiment in companionship ends in bitter failure. He remains alone once more. Stung by the betrayal, yet still unwilling to endure eternity in solitude, Galactus devises a new plan. If creating an equal failed, perhaps a more subservient companion would fare better a herald to go before him. This herald would roam the cosmos, finding suitable worlds to consume, sparing Galactus the need to constantly search and allowing him to conserve energy. In return, the herald would be granted a portion of the power cosmic, elevating them far beyond mortal limits. Thus, Galactus begins seeking a being to remake as his herald. His first attempt is a being of dark energy simply known as the Fallen One. Little is remembered of this herald's originally that he was imbued with cosmic might drawn from the shadows between stars. For a time, the Fallen One serves Galactus, leading him to energy-rich worlds without question or conscience. But the Fallen One proves even more unstable than Tyrant. Empowered by black cosmic fire, he grows violent and unruly. He does not just guide Galactus to planets. He delights in destruction for its own sake, exceeding what even Galactus requires. Eventually, the Fallen One rebels against his master, seeking freedom from servitude. Galactus is forced to battle his own herald, a conflict that flares across the cosmos. Though the Fallen One is powerful, Galactus is on a different level of divinity. The rogue herald is defeated and imprisoned, possibly in some distant sphere of antimatter or a collapsing star, to prevent further insurrection. Galactus is left once more without a herald, and his hunger and loneliness remain. Yet Galactus does not abandon the concept of a herald. He realizes he needs a being not of malice or artificial design, but one with nobility and purpose, someone who might find a symbiosis in serving the greater cosmic need. Such an individual might withstand the corrupting influence of the power cosmic better than the Fallen One did. So the Devourer of Worlds resumes his journey, ever hungry, but now also watching for a soul brave and desperate enough to accept a most dreadful pact. Before long, fate guides Galactus toward a quiet, utopian planet at the edge of the Galaxia world called Zen-Land, to the man whose destiny will forever intertwine with Galactus's own. Zen-La is a world of peace and knowledge, a jewel of civilization spared from war and want. Its people have grown complacent in their prosperity, never imagining that an apocalypse from the stars could descend upon them. Yet one man among them, Norrin Radd, yearns for more than the comfortable stagnation of his society. He gazes at the stars with restless ambition, dreaming of cosmic wonders beyond his tranquil home. It is this dreamer who will soon face a choice that defines the fate of worlds. Without warning, Galactus arrives in the skies of Zen-La. His massive form eclipses the sun, casting the capital city in shadow. Alarms ring out. The planet's defense systems are futile against a being of such power. Panic spreads as the Zen-Lavian skies blaze with the light of Galactus's energy converters, initializing. He has chosen Zen-La to satiate his endless hunger. Norrin Radd watches the towering cosmic giant begin the process that will reduce his beloved world to cinders. Horror and sorrow well up inside him. In that instant, he makes a fateful decision. Stealing a spacecraft, Norrin rockets toward the invading Titan. Against all logic, this lone man flies straight into the presence of a cosmic god. Galactus pauses, intrigued by the tiny craft and the bold figure emerging from it. He listens as Norrin Radd, voice trembling but resolute, offers a bargain. "Spare my planet, and I will serve you. I will become your herald, guiding you to worlds where you can feed without destroying those who are innocent." Here, in this moment, is the noble soul Galactus has been searching for Roan, willing to sacrifice everything for the sake of others, even other worlds. Galactus's eyes blaze as he considers. In truth, Zen-La's energies are rich and tempting, but a herald who volunteers freely, with such conviction, is a rare treasure. The Devourer accepts the offer. With a gesture, he envelops Norrin Radd in a column of searing cosmic radiance. The mortal form of Norrin is transformed utterly, skin transmuting into gleaming silver, body infused with the raw power cosmic. His clothes dissolve, replaced by shimmering chrome flesh. Galactus forges a mighty, surfboard-like cosmic glider out of pure energy, a vehicle that will allow his new Herald to streak across the cosmos at faster-than-light speeds. Reborn from head to toe, Norrin-Radd opens his eyes. He is no longer the man of Zen-La. He is the Silver Surfer, Herald of Galactus. His mind is flooded with cosmic awareness. At Galactus's command, many of his memories and emotions are dampened, so the pain of his sacrifice will not overwhelm him. The love he had especially for his beloved Shalabalis buried deep beneath the shining surface of his new identity. True to his word, Galactus spares Zen-La. The gargantuan hunger is reluctantly turned aside from that world, but it will not remain unsatisfied for long. Now, accompanied by the Silver Surfer, Galactus leaves the tranquil planet behind, setting forth once more into the sea of stars in search of sustenance. As Herald, the Silver Surfer becomes Galactus's scout and, in a way, his conscience. The Surfer races ahead of his master's path, surveying worlds to determine which might sat Galactus's hunger. Whenever possible, he seeks uninhabited planets, or those whose populations are cruel and warlike worlds whose end might bring less sorrow to the universe. In doing so, the Silver Surfer hopes to minimize the tragedy of Galactus's need to feed. For years, perhaps centuries, this arrangement holds. Many civilizations whisper of a strange silver guardian who appears in their skies as a warninger, lone figure gliding on cosmic winds, often followed by the arrival of the Devourer. Some heed the omen and evacuate. Others are not so lucky. Throughout it all, the Silver Surfer endures the anguish of witnessing countless deaths, numbed only by the faint memory that his own people were spared. Within Galactus, a grudging respect grows for his new Herald. The Silver Surfer serves faithfully, and the quality of worlds he locates keeps Galactus sated with minimal interference. In his own detached way, Galactus perhaps admires the Surfer's nobility, even as he relies on it. But this era of relative balance cannot last forever. The Silver Surfer's journeys will soon bring him to a small, blue planet on the fringe of the Galaxia planet called Earth. And there, both Herald and Master will face a challenge unlike any they have encountered before. The Silver Surfer's wanderings eventually lead him to a nondescript solar system on the galaxy's fringe. He finds Earth a planet brimming with life and energy and, crucially, advanced defenders capable of challenging Galactus. The Surfer hesitates. Earth is rich sustenance for his master, but it is also home to a young, vibrant civilization not unlike his own lost Zen-La. He secretly hopes to avoid this world, but Galactus has already sensed the planet's abundance through their link. The Devourer sets course for Earth, and the Surfer's heart grows heavy. Without warning or mercy, Galactus's immense ship materializes in Earth's orbit. In the skies above Manhattan, a massive silhouette takes form. Galactus, astride a hovering platform, descends from the heavens. Humans below gaze up in terror and awe at the armored giant, whose helmeted visage could eclipse the moon. When Galactus speaks, his voice booms like an apocalypse. "I am Galactus. I consume worlds. This planet shall sustain me." His words, though few, carry the weight of absolute doom. Galactus wastes no time. He summons forth great machines constructs of bizarre design that plant themselves across the Earth's surface. Towers rise miles high, connected by crackling energy grids. The Elemental Converter, a device that will siphon Earth's life, force, and convert it into cosmic energy for Galactus to devour. As the converter activates, Earth's skies turn dark, swirling with cosmic tempests. The countdown to Earth's end has begun. But Earth is not defenseless. In New York City, a small band of heroes known as the Fantastic Four races into action, guided by the enigmatic Watcher Uatu, who has broken his vow of non-interference to subtly help them. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Ben Grimm, The Thing, Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, and Johnny Storm, Human Torch, confront the colossal intruder. They are soon joined by allies. The brave Avengers and other defenders of Earth rally to the cause. Humanity refuses to go quietly into cosmic night. A fierce battle erupts around Galactus's converter. The Fantastic Four and their allies attack Galactus's equipment, trying to delay the consumption process. Explosions and energy blasts light up the skyline. At first, Galactus pays these tiny gnats little heed. Their most potent weapons barely singe his armor. He dispatches robotic servitor-storing constructs to swat away the pesky heroes. The thing grapples one huge guardian. Thor's hammer shatters another in a burst of sparks. Still, the fight seems hopeless. Galactus is as far above these heroes as a god is above an ant. Above the strife, the Silver Surfer hovers, conflicted. Witnessing humanity's valor and determination, the long-suppressed humanity within him reawakens. He remembers the ideals that led him to sacrifice himself in the first place. Moved by the selflessness of Alicia Mastersa, blind sculptress, who reaches out to him with kindness amid the chaos, Surfer makes a fateful choice. Defying his master's will for the first time, the Silver Surfer joins forces with the humans. Galactus immediately senses the betrayal. The power he invested in his Herald now fuels resistance against him. Enraged, he swats the Surfer from the sky with a cosmic blast, sending him crashing to Earth. Even so, the delay caused by this skirmish has bought the heroes precious time for a last gambit. Under the Watcher's discreet guidance, the Human Torch soars into the heavens and breaches the great starship Taa 2, hanging in orbit. Navigating its incomprehensible halls of technology, Johnny retrieves a small, handheld device, barely larger than a flashlight, the ultimate Nullifier. This is Galactus's own ultimate weapona creation, said to be capable of wiping out any target, even a being as powerful as Galactus, by nullifying them from existence. It is a doomsday device of last resort. The torch delivers the Nullifier to Mr. Fantastic. As Galactus prepares to deliver the final consumption command, Reed Richards stands atop a building, device in hand, and shouts up at the giant. The Nullifier's muzzle is pointed directly at Galactus. Reed's voice is firm. If Galactus does not withdraw, Reed will activate the ultimate Nullifier, potentially destroying Galactus and likely Earth and perhaps the entire solar system in the process. It is the ultimate bluffer, perhaps not a bluff at all. Galactus halts. His cosmic awareness confirms the threat. In Richard's hand lies the power to end him. For the first time in eons, Galactus feels a sliver of uncertainty, perhaps even fear. The towering destroyer slowly lowers his arms. The whirling machinery winds down. The elemental converter's light dims. Earth's impending doom is stayed. Impressed by the audacity of these mortals, and recognizing that pushing further could result in mutual annihilation, Galactus decides to relent. With grave, resonant words, he announces that Earth will be spared. He, Galactus, will honor this reprievand, as cosmic beings do not lie lightly. A promise from Galactus carries the weight of cosmic law. He vows never to attempt to consume Earth again. There is a collective sigh of relief across the globe as the gigantic invader begins to withdraw his machines. However, Galactus's grim gaze falls upon the prone figure of the Silver Surfer, who dared defy him. Though he will spare Earth, Galactus will not leave without retribution. With a wave of his hand, he pronounces the Surfer's sentence: exile. A cosmic energy barrier envelops the Silver Surfer, binding him to Earth, unable to soar the spaceways again. In this act, Galactus punishes his Herald's betrayal by imprisoning him on the very world he defended. Galactus then ascends back into the sky. The elemental converter disassembles and retracts into his ship. As dawn breaks over the ravaged but still living Earth, the colossal figure and his vessel vanish into the depths of space. The world has been saved at the very brink of destruction. For a moment, humanity celebrates. But the heroes know the truth. They did not truly defeat Galactus merely. won a stay of execution through ingenuity and courage. Galactus remains abroad in the universe, his hunger unabated. And though Earth is spared by his word, countless other worlds will still face the terrible shadow of the Devourer of Worlds. Galactus leaves Earth with both a vow and a grudge. And as he departs, new chapters in his saga unfold. Old debts will come due, new heralds will rise, and the Devourer's complex role in the cosmos will be brought to light. True to his word, Galactus does not return to Earth for a long time, but his cosmic journey continues unabated. Now, without a herald, with the Silver Surfer marooned on Earth, Galactus must seek new guiding eyes. In the years that follow, the Devourer of Worlds selects a series of new heralds to replace the Surfer each with their own virtues and flaws. In one distant quadrant, Galactus encounters a brave Xandarian starship captain, Gabriel Lan. Seeing potential, Galactus transforms Gabriel into the cosmic being Airwalker. For a time, Airwalker serves loyally, his spirit of adventure perfectly suited to soaring among the galaxies. Unfortunately, even a herald is not invincible. Airwalker meets his end, battling a powerful alien foe. Galactus retrieves what remains of his herald's consciousness and implants it into a robotic body to prolong his service. But the spark that made Gabriel unique is gone. Eventually, this automated herald fails, leaving Galactus searching once more. Next, Galactus bestows the power cosmic upon Pirius Krill, Gabriel's comrade, turning him into Firelord. Wielding a flaming staff and a burning resolve, Firelord aids Galactus in finding sustenance, but his tenure is relatively brief. When Firelord's travels bring him to Earth seeking release from service, a confrontation with Thor leads to an unusual bargain. Thor secures Firelord's freedom by offering Galactus the mighty Asgardian destroyer armor as a substitute herald. For a short while, Galactus animates this empty suit of enchanted armor to scout for him. Yet, lacking a true soul, the destroyer proves a poor replacement. In time, Galactus again must seek another herald of flesh and blood. Throughout these changes, Galactus's hunger grows. He remains bound by his promise to spare Earth, but that vow does not ease his eternal need. As fate would have it, Galactus eventually becomes embroiled in a new crisis that brings him uncomfortably close to Earth's orbit once more. A cosmic menace known as the Sphinx seizes nearly unlimited power and threatens reality. The Fantastic Four, remembering both the danger and strange necessity of Galactus, conceive a bold plan. If Galactus will help defeat the Sphinx, they will release him from his vow to avoid Earth and find him a suitable new herald. Intrigued and desperate from hunger, Galactus agrees. The Fantastic Four locate Tyros, a cruel dictator who ruled the city of Lanlac on a distant planet. Tyros' personality is brutal and fearless traits that might make him an effective herald untroubled by conscience. Galactus imbues Tyros with cosmic power, transforming him into Terrax the Tamer. Terrax wields a cosmic axe and the ability to command rock and earth. Unlike the noble surfer, Terrax revels in power and cares nothing for lives lost. He leads Galactus to Earth where the empowered Sphinx awaits. Galactus arrives once more in Earth's solar system, not as a world destroyer this time, but as a potential savior against the Sphinx. With Terrax's help, he confronts the near-omnipotent Sphinx in a titanic battle in the skies above Egypt. The conflict shakes the heavens. Ultimately, Galactus prevails, stripping the Sphinx of his stolen power. True to his deal, Galactus does not harm Earth in the aftermath. However, the very confrontation and Galactus's long journey without feeding have left him dangerously weak. By now, Terrax has grown drunk with his own power and cunning. He sees his master faltering and seizes an opportunity. Unbeknownst to Galactus, Terrax had schemed to free himself all along. He chooses this moment of vulnerability to rebel. Using his control over stone, Terrax causes Galactus's energy reserves to deplete further, hoping to blackmail the Devourer into granting him even more power or freedom. But Terrax underestimates the resolve of others. The Fantastic Four and Avengers cannot stand by and watch any beingly or naughty of hunger in their midst, knowing the cosmic consequences. As Galactus weakly hovers above Earth, on the verge of collapse, the heroes make a fateful choice. Despite knowing that restoring Galactus means he will consume other worlds again, they cannot let him perish here and potentially unleash unknown cosmic fallout. The thunder god Thor channels a torrent of cosmic energy. Iron Man and Reed Richards set up power transfer devices, and together Earth's champions save Galactus's life. Revitalized by the energies provided, Galactus rises anew, his power restored to fearful levels. In that instant, Terrax's ploy backfires. Galactus, re-energized, quickly strips Terrax of the power cosmic for his treachery. The once formidable Herald is reduced back to a mortal, left powerless and at the mercy of the heroes he betrayed. Galactus stands before the assembled Earth heroes, fully fed yet momentarily contemplative. These tiny mortals, whom he once nearly destroyed, have now saved him. It is a paradox not lost on the cosmic giant. In acknowledgement of their deed, and perhaps with a shred of respect, Galactus consents to depart Earth peacefully once more. But before he leaves, his hunger already beckons. He needs a new Herald more trustworthy than Terrax and more yielding than the Surfer, if possible. Impressed by the courage of one particular human during the ordeal, a young woman named Frankie Ray, who aided the heroes, Galactus offers her the role. Driven by a selfless desire to protect her world from future visits by Galactus, Frankie volunteers. Thus, Galactus imbues her with cosmic power, igniting her body in golden flame and dubbing her Nova. In exchange for Frankie Ray's service as his new herald, Galactus vows, once again, to spare Earth. And so Galactus leaves Earth's vicinity with Nova by his side, a living comet blazing a trail ahead of the Devourer's great ship. This time, a human rides the solar winds as Galactus's scout, carrying humanity's hope that she can guide the Devourer's hunger away from the innocent. Yet even as one chapter closes, the universe's judgment of Galactus is far from over. The Devourer's reprieve will soon be challenged on a cosmic scale. For there are those across the stars who cry out for justice, whole races who lost their worlds to Galactus's hunger, and they will demand that this Titan be held accountable for eons of genocide. The toll of Galactus's cosmic hunger is beyond measure, billions of lives on countless worlds. Though Galactus sees himself as a force of nature, the survivors of his ravages view him as the ultimate destroyer. After Galactus's near death and revival on Earth, a coalition of alien empires finally decides that enough is enough. They cannot strike directly at Galactus, is too formidable, but they seek retribution another way. They put on trial the man who saved Galactus's life, Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. Reed is abducted by the Shi'ar Empire and brought before an intergalactic tribunal. The grand courtroom spans light years, filled with representatives of dozens of species, Skrulls, Kree, Xandarians, and many more, all with grievances against the Devourer. They charge Reed with cosmic crimes by reviving Galactus, and earlier by preventing his destruction with the ultimate Nullifier. Reed enabled the Devourer to claim countless additional lives. In effect, they accuse him of being an accessory to genocide. As the trial unfolds, testimonies of tragedy echo through the chamber. A Corbinite recounts the day Galactus consumed the core of their thriving world. A Skrull describes the horror when Galactus devoured the Skrull throne world, Tarnax 4, an atrocity that occurred under Nova's tenure as Herald. Empress Lilandra of the Shi'ar presides, her eyes reflecting the sorrow and anger of the assembled. They demand Reed justify why Galactus deserved salvation. Reed Richards, a mere human among cosmic beings, stands to defend himself. He argues that he saved Galactus not out of malice or alliance with the Devourer's cause, but out of a grave understanding. Galactus is necessary. This claim draws outrage and disbelief from the gathered aliens. Necessary? How could the horror that consumed their loved ones be necessary? At this crucial moment, when reason and rhetoric fail to sway the furious masses, the very fabric of the cosmos intervenes. In a flash of blinding light, the abstract cosmic entity, eternity, manifests in the center of the court. Eternity is the living embodiment of the universe itself, a silhouette filled with galaxies. A stunned hush falls over the tribunal. All present can only gaze in silent awe. Without words, eternity merges the consciousness of everyone present with the cosmos. For a fleeting, profound moment, every being in the room experiences existence as a unified whole. They feel the cosmic balance, the grand design in which Galactus plays a part. They sense that Galactus is not a demon born of malice, but a cosmic force woven into the universe's cycle of life and death. They see the truth. Galactus is a cosmic necessity. Just as death comes for living beings to keep life's balance, Galactus exists to consume worlds and release energy back to the cosmos, ensuring continual creation and renewal. Without Galactus's destructive role, unchecked life might saturate and stagnate the universe. Or far worse, an unknown imbalance could unravel reality. In that epiphany, the hatred in many hearts shifts to reluctant acceptance. The tribunal witnesses understand that Galactus is beyond conventional justice. He is akin to a cosmic storm, terrible, yes, but natural and needed to maintain equilibrium. When eternity releases their minds, the assembly is forever changed. Empress Lilandra tears in her eyes for the loved ones lost yet enlightened by what she's seen, drops the charges against Reed Richards. The collective of cosmic races, though still mourning their dead, agrees that punishing Reed or executing Galactus would serve no true purpose. Indeed, it could imperil the universe. Reed is freed, and the courtroom disperses under a somber, contemplative mood. Reed returns to Earth, carrying the heavy burden of understanding. Galactus is not evil in a simple sense, nor can he be eliminated without catastrophic consequences. The judgment of the cosmos has decreed that Galactus must be. For Galactus's part, this event is a silent vindication of his role. He continues his existence with a measure of cosmic sanction, but being necessary offers no comfort to the billions who still fear his coming. Galactus remains what he Eisen, apex predator of the universe, and tragedies born of his hunger will persist. Having been deemed a necessary evil, Galactus resumes his journey. Yet the trials of Galactus are far from over. Within the Devourer's soul, there is no rejoicing, only the constant, gnawing hunger. And in the shadows, new perils gather. For when such a titan walks the universe, there will always be those who challenge his reign or seek to exploit his eternal hunger. In the wake of the cosmic trial, Galactus resumes his grim work with a clearer mandate, but that does not lessen the tragedies that follow. His then herald, Nova, Frankie Ray, guides him as best she can toward uninhabited worlds or those whose sacrifice might cause less sorrow. Yet with each feeding, Nova's human heart grows heavier. After witnessing the annihilation of billions on the Skrull homeworld, her spirit breaks. Conscience-stricken and weeping over the lives her guidance has doomed, Nova can no longer serve. Galactus allows her to depart, or perhaps she flees, another herald lost to the weight of morality. Needing a herald unburdened by pity or remorse, Galactus finds Morg, an executioner from a brutal planet. Morg is everything the Silver Surfer was not: ruthless, bloodthirsty, and utterly unfazed by genocide. Empowered by Galactus, Morg becomes the new herald and relishes the role. Under Morg's tenure, Galactus's feedings become swifter and more violent. Morg leads his master exclusively to populated worlds, reasoning that living energies are the most potent. Whole civilizations fall like wheat before the scythe. The starways run red with the memory of Morg's deeds, and even Galactus's former heralds cannot stand idly by. United by growing horror, the Silver Surfer, Firelord, Airwalker, whose consciousness endures in his android form, and Terrax, who had since regained some power, form an unlikely alliance. These ex-heralds ambush Morg in deep space to stop his slaughterous rampage. The battle that ensues is fierce, and personal cosmic power flares as former servants of Galactus clash amongst swirling nebulae. Morg, empowered by Galactus's latest enhancements and wielding a deadly cosmic axe, manages to slay the valiant Airwalker and even fatally wound Nova, who had joined the confrontation seeking atonement. Enraged by the loss of their comrades, the remaining heralds redouble their efforts. In the end, the Silver Surfer and Firelord finally bring Morg down, defeating him after a brutal struggle. Though victorious, they cannot rejoice. The cost in lives, including beloved friends, has been immense. Galactus observes the outcome with cold detachment. Morg's ferocity served him well until it became counterproductive. With Morg incapacitated and soon after executed for his treachery, Galactus once again is left without a herald. Not long after, an old shadow falls across Galactus's path. Tyrant Galactus's own forsaken son returns from exile, still thirsting for revenge. Having slowly rebuilt his strength, Tyrant lures Galactus into a trap at the edge of the universe. A titanic battle erupts in the depths of space as Galactus and Tyrant unleash cosmic fury upon each other once more. Caught in this clash is Morg, who had survived defeat and sought to reclaim his place, and several cosmic bystanders drawn by curiosity and greed. The chaos crescendos when Morg, seeking to destroy both his hated master and Tyrant, seizes the ultimate Nullifier, stolen during the fray from Galactus's arsenal. In a moment of insane bravado, Morg activates the device. A blinding white implosion engulfs the combatants. When the light fades, Tyrant is utterly obliterated, and Morg's own life force is extinguished by the Nullifier's terrible recoil. Galactus survives, barely staggered by the blast, but alive. The greatest threat born of his loneliness, Tyrant, is no more. Yet this Pyrrhic victory leaves Galactus further weakened and without any herald at all. In the aftermath, Galactus contemplates his failures with heralds. The noble ones abandon him or turn traitor out of conscience. The ruthless ones succumb to treachery or self-destruction. Perhaps, he muses, the fault lies not just in them, but in his method. Thus, Galactus attempts a new strategy. Rather than rely on Herald's judgment, he will change the very pattern of his feeding. If he devours only the life force of living beings and spares the planets themselves, he reasons that his sustenance might increase, for souls and biospheric energy have immense power, and the cosmic balance might shift in his favor. To aid in this dark endeavor, Galactus eventually empowers a new herald named Red Shift, a crimson-skinned swordsman with the ability to open portals in space. Red Shift dutifully leads Galactus to lush, inhabited worlds and even to alternate dimensions teeming with life. A wave of dread sweeps the galaxies as word spreads. Galactus no longer merely consumes planets, she now seeks out populations, leaving barren globes adrift where thriving societies once flourished. This escalation does not go unanswered. The surviving cosmic champions, including the Silver Surfer, who has resolved to oppose his former master's excesses, unite many great powers to confront Galactus. Even some alien empires, realizing all their populations are now targets, muster fleets against the Devourer. The confrontation reaches its peak near the Shi'ar throne world, Chandela, where Galactus prepares to feast on the billions of souls there. Red Shift engages the assembled heroes in a duel among the stars, but the Silver Surfer manages to outwit and overpower him. leaving Galactus directly exposed to interference. In a bold move, the Silver Surfer and his allies sabotage Galactus's energy siphons mid-feeding and turn them against the Devourer himself. In the middle of draining a planet's life force, Galactus suddenly feels an agonizing feedback, his own machines leeching power from his body. Already overextended from consuming so many life forces rapidly, Galactus cannot resist the combined assault and sabotage. With a final anguished groan that echoes across space, the great Galactus falls. His colossal body, racked with uncontrollable energy, collapses upon itself. In a flash, Galactus's form implodes, releasing a burst of light brighter than a supernova. When the dazzle fades, a newborn star glows in the firmament where the Devourer once stood. Galactus is dead. For a moment, across the universe, a collective breath is held. Can it be true? The Devourer of Worlds felled at last? Some rejoice, others fear what they have dared to do. The Silver Surfer bows his head, feeling a mix of relief and sorrow for, though Galactus was his enemy of late, he was also once his savior and charge. As news spreads, celebrations erupt on worlds long haunted by the specter of Galactus. It seems the unthinkable has happened. The cosmic executioner has been executed by the very lives he preyed upon. But the universe is not done with Galactus yet. In the silent aftermath of his death, the cosmic balance shifts, and something far darker than Galactus begins to stir. The fall of the Devourer has consequences that no one in the Alliance could have foreseen. Consequences that will soon make it clear why Galactus was indeed so necessary. For a time after Galactus's demise, there is an eerie calm. But soon, cracks in reality itself begin to appear. A cosmic ripple spreads across alternate universes, felt by beings attuned to the multiverse's fabric. From the void beyond mortal perception emerges Abraxas. Abraxas is the antithesis of all Ordera cosmic entity of pure destruction, born eons ago but held in check by the existence of Galactus. As long as Galactus lived, Abraxas was imprisoned, unable to manifest. Now, with Galactus gone, that cosmic seal is broken. Abraxas stretches his wings across the multiverse, reveling in newfound freedom. He is terrifying to behold. A towering figure with shimmering skin like fractured glass, eyes burning with malevolence and chaos. Without Galactus, there is no being to counterbalance Abraxas's destructive nature. The entity begins a horrific campaign across parallel realities, slaughtering the incarnations of Galactus in those universes. Each reality's version of the Devourer falls like candle flames snuffed out by a hurricane. The heads of dead Galacti, enormous and silent, drift through the cosmic abyss as Abraxas tears through universe after universe. And with each kill, Abraxas grows stronger, his presence inching closer to the prime reality Earth's universe. On Earth, the first harbinger of Abraxas's coming is strange and morbid. The decapitated skull of an alternate Galactus materializes, hidden beneath the oceans, leaking cosmic energy. The Silver Surfer, sensing a cosmic horror, alerts Earth's heroes. The Watcher grimly confirms the worst. Abraxas is here, and if unstopped, he will unmake all of existence. With Galactus absent, hope rests in an unlikely duo. Franklin Richards, the young son of Reed, and Sue Richards, who possesses reality-altering mutant powers, and Valeria Von Doom, an alternate reality manifestation of their daughter in the current timeline, her existence itself a paradox. Gifted with cosmic insight, these two children, innocent yet unimaginably powerful, step forward to face the crisis. Under the guidance of the Fantastic Four and other cosmic allies, including the Silver Surfer, Franklin and Valeria execute a desperate plan. They will do what no one ever imagined would be necessary: resurrect Galactus. As Abraxas draws closer, warping reality and casting dark shadows over the cosmos, Franklin Richards closes his eyes and summons every ounce of his power. Having once playfully created pocket universes, now he attempts something on a truly cosmic scale. With Valeria concentrating by his side, the young boy reaches out to the newly born star that was once Galactus. In an awe-inspiring spectacle, Franklin ignites his power like a supernova of psychic energy. He and Valeria pour their life force into reigniting the fallen Titan. Across the universe, particles begin to coalesce. The star of Galactus's demise shimmers and then contracts, reforming into a familiar, gigantic shape. In a brilliant flash, Galactus lives again, reborn by the sacrifice of 2 children. The strain is immense. Franklin, once virtually omnipotent, exhausts nearly all his mutant power in this act, collapsing weak but triumphant. Galactus awakens, fully resurrected and restored to his mighty form. He instantly senses the threat of Abraxas and comprehends the stakes. In his reborn state, Galactus does something unprecedented. He allies completely with the Fantastic Four and their allies. There is no question of hunger, now only the peril of the multiverse at Abraxas's hands. Abraxas arrives in the Prime Universe, towering over Earth, reality warping around him. Time and space convulse in his presence. Heroes struggle just to stand. The final confrontation is swift and decisive. Galactus, acknowledging that brute force cannot easily stop Abraxas, who nearly equals eternity in might, instead provides the key to victory, the ultimate nullifier. He entrusts this cosmic weapon to Reed Richards, the mortal who once dared threaten Galactus with it. Abraxas roars in defiance and fury, moving to annihilate Galactus and the entire Earth. But Reed Richards, guided by cosmic awareness imbued during the trial and aided by the clarity of purpose of his children's sacrifice, activates the ultimate nullifier. In that infinitesimal moment, all of reality blinks. A wave of pure negation washes over Abraxas, and not only Abraxas but the damage he wrought. The multiverse resets to a state where Abraxas had never escaped. Reality knits itself back together. The horrific slaughter of alternate galacti is undone, those beings resurrected in their respective universes with no memory of the carnage. The Prime Universe returns to the instant just after Galactus's resurrection, but now the cosmic balance is restored. Galactus lives, and Abraxas is sealed away once more outside of existence. In the aftermath, the heroes of Earth catch their breath, marveling at the enormity of what has transpired. Galactus stands among them not as an enemy in this moment, but as a pillar of the restored order. Franklin and Valeria are alive, though Franklin's powers are burnt out to embers. The universe has been saved from a threat far greater than Galactus by the return of Galactus himself. Galactus, both ancient and newly reborn, does not offer thanks in the human sense. Such concepts are somewhat alien to him, but he nods solemnly to Franklin Richards, silent acknowledgement of the boy's incredible act, and to Reed, whose courage with the nullifier saved all of creation. There is an understanding between them now of the roles they play. Without fanfare, Galactus takes his leave once more, ascending to the stars. The balance of the cosmos has been restored. Destruction and creation are back in check. Those who watch him depart cannot help but feel a conflicted relief. They have resurrected their old nemesis to prevent a greater horror. Galactus's presence in the universe remains a curse and a blessing intertwined. Galactus lives on, his cycle of hunger set to continue. But having stared into the void of absolute destruction, even the Devourer perhaps gains a deeper awareness of his place. The cosmos has shown that Galactus's existence spares reality from utter chaos. And yet, the personal torment of his hunger still lies ahead, and his story is far from finished. Resurrected and reaffirmed in cosmic purpose, Galactus returns to his ceaseless pattern. But something is subtly changed. Having glimpsed the havoc his absence unleashed, Galactus is more aware than ever of the burden he carries. The eternal hunger remains, but perhaps buried deep there is a spark of desire to be free of this cycle. Over the coming ages, Galactus engages in extraordinary measures that reveal both his frustration with his hunger and the ever-present danger he poses. In a bold experiment, Galactus seeks to cure his hunger once and for all. He turns his attention to the Infinity Gems, 6 jewels of unlimited power. If he could harness their combined energies, maybe he could elevate himself beyond the need to feed. Galactus manages to gather these artifacts and attempts to siphon their power. But this effort goes horribly awry. Unbeknownst to him, the gem's energies tear a hole into the negative zone and release an insidious entity known as the Hunger, a cosmic parasite that devours entire universes, much like Galactus devours planets. The Hunger threatens to consume reality from the outside in. In a rare twist, Galactus becomes a potential savior once more, working alongside the scheming Thanos, who orchestrated events to destroy the Hunger and thwart Galactus simultaneously. Galactus engages the interdimensional horror. A desperate battle at the edge of existence sees Galactus and Thanos narrowly triumph, destroying the Hunger before it can feast. Yet victory is hollow. Galactus's attempt to cure himself fails, and his hunger returns, stronger than ever. At times, the targets of Galactus's appetite attempt ingenious defenses. One advanced alien race develops technology to cloak their worlds from Galactus's senses, rendering entire planets invisible to him. To counter this, Galactus does the unthinkable. He twists the powers of 2 of Earth's heroes, the Fantastic Four's Human Torch and Invisible Woman, who had swapped abilities at the time, creating a temporary Herald, ironically dubbed the Invisible Boy. This unwilling Herald, Johnny Storm, is forced to guide Galactus to the hidden planets. However, the Fantastic Four intervene, infiltrating Taa too and using experimental devices to accomplish the impossible. They separate Galactus from the power cosmic that sustains him. In a startling moment, Galactus is reverted to the mortal form of Galan, a gaunt humanoid suddenly free of his hunger but also vastly weakened. Confronted with vulnerability for the first time in billions of years, Galan chooses exile over revenge. He steps into an alternate, energy-rich dimension provided by the heroes to feed harmlessly and reflect on his fate. For a brief period, the universe knows the peace of Galactus's absence. Yet the cosmos cannot long be without Galactus. The energy-rich dimension sustains Galan's life, but not his cosmic purpose. Slowly, inevitably, Galan transforms back into Galactus, compelled to return to the universe he had left. Once again, the great hunger gnaws, and the cycle resumes. It is as if the universe itself will not allow Galactus to escape his role for long. The universe soon faces a new cataclysm that underscores even further how entwined Galactus is with cosmic affairs. The warlord Annihilation unleashes the Annihilation wave, an armada from the negative zone that cuts a swath of destruction through the cosmos. In the onslaught, the ancient Kiln prison is shattered, freeing the Proemial Gods, Aegis and Tenebrous, bitter foes of Galactus from the dawn of time. Sensing their liberator Annihilation's goals align with their vengeance, they hunt down Galactus and the Silver Surfer, who had recently rejoined his creator as a herald to help combat these old enemies. In a moment of grievous surprise, Aegis and Tenebrous ambush Galactus. Even the Devourer cannot withstand the combined might of 2 cosmic gods enraged. Galactus falls, chained, and delivered as a living weapon to Annihilation. What follows is one of the darkest chapters for Galactus. The Devourer becomes the Devoured, in a sense. Annihilation tortures Galactus, siphoning his immeasurable energy to power a doomsday device aimed at wiping out all life. Harnessed like a reactor, Galactus's power is used to vaporize entire star systems at Annihilation's command. The proud being who once inspired fear in billions is reduced to a battery for an insect tyrant's genocidal ambition. Yet even in captivity, Galactus's mere presence is a double-edged sword. The raw energy output he emits is enough to scald space-time. Reality itself groans under the strain of one of its fundamental forces being misused. Liberation comes in the form of unlikely heroes. A band of cosmic champions, led by Nova, the leader of the United Front, not Galactus's former Herald, and including Galactus's own former Herald, the Silver Surfer, and even Thanos for a time, mount a daring rescue. In the climactic fray, Drax the Destroyer breaches Annihilus's defenses and shatters the containment field holding Galactus. In an eruption of fury and pent-up power, Galactus is unleashed, free once more. His anger and agony coalesce into a single moment of vengeance. With a roar that ripples across the cosmos, Galactus releases a cosmic blast of unfathomable magnitude. The Annihilation Wave Armada is obliterated in an instant. Thousands of warships and warriors turn to atoms in a purple-white inferno. Annihilus himself, ordinarily unkillable, is left in tatters, to be finished off by Nova in personal combat shortly thereafter. The devastation Galactus wreaks in those few moments is so immense that it creates a momentary second daylight in distant star systems. In his wrath, Galactus reminds the universe that while he may be a force of balance, he is also among the most fearsome beings in existence when provoked. After the ashes of the Annihilation War settle, Galactus finds himself oddly indebted to lesser beings for the second time, the first being the heroes who saved him from starvation on Earth. It's not a position he's comfortable with. There is no record of Galactus offering thanks. Instead, he simply departs, Silver Surfer once again by his side as a herald, their relationship strangely renewed by shared hardship. In the aftermath, two of Galactus's oldest prisoners, Aegis and Tenebrous, attempt to flee justice, only to be tricked by the Silver Surfer into a fatal encounter at the border of the universe. The ancient gods perish in the rift between dimensions, ensuring they cannot threaten Galactus again. The Devourer's long-ago victory in the Proemial War is conclusively sealed. Despite his terrifying display of power against Annihilus, glimpses of Galactus's capacity for mercy surface as well. Journeying on, Galactus crosses paths with Beta Ray Bill, a noble alien hero whose homeworld was among those Galactus consumed during his more reckless period. Bill attacks Galactus in grief-fueled rage. Though far below Galactus in power, Beta Ray Bill's storm-imbued hammer strikes out of desperation. Galactus easily subdues the Corbinite, but surprisingly, rather than swatting the hero like an insect, Galactus acknowledges Bill's sorrow. In an act of almost compassionate restitution, Galactus uses his power to create a new Corbinite life, surviving cloned embryo of Bill's species, transformed into a female Corbinite. He gifts this new life to Beta Ray Bill as a companion, ensuring the Corbinite race will not end with Bill. For a moment, the Devourer plays creator, mending a small fraction of the damage he caused. Beta Ray Bill, stunned by this gesture, stands down, left to ponder the complex entity that is Galactus. In another episode, when a far future version of Earth's heroes attempts to cheat fate by killing a future Galactus and bringing his body to the present, Galactus takes offense at mortals, meddling with cosmic destiny. Discovering their new refuge, New Earth, he exacts cold retribution by consuming it entirely, demonstrating that even time itself bows to his will, and those who try to exploit his mortality will meet the fate they sought to avoid. Throughout these sagas, one thread remains constant: Galactus's hunger. Planets continue to die so that he may live. Yet, after so many trials, even Galactus grows weary of being a slave to this need. The cosmos has affirmed his necessity, but necessity is not solace. Is this endless cycle all there is for him? Galactus begins to wonder if there is another way, if he could ever transform his role in the universe. It is a question that will soon be answered, as Galactus approaches perhaps the most radical turning point of his existence, one that will challenge the fundamental nature of what he is. For billions of years, Galactus has been defined by hunger and destruction, but now the universe itself stands on the cusp of a new age, and some believe even Galactus can and must change. Enter a group of extraordinary heroes calling themselves the Ultimates: Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Blue Marvel, Spectrum, and America Chavez. They are problem solvers of the highest order, unafraid to tackle cosmic threats at their source. And in their bold sight is Galactus. The Ultimates decide that to truly protect the cosmos, they must cure Galactus of his need to devour worlds once and for all. In a carefully orchestrated strike, the Ultimates catch Galactus at a moment of vulnerability and force him back into a celestial incubator, a device not unlike the cosmic egg from which he hatched eons ago. Galactus roars in anger and confusion as unimaginable energies swirl around him. The heroes channel power from across the spectrum: science, magic, and the fundamental forces of creation. Within the incubator, Galactus undergoes a metamorphosis beyond any he has experienced. After a tense interval, the incubator opens. Galactus steps forth, changed. His towering form now radiates with a golden light. His once violet armor is gleaming white and gold. The insatiable hunger that once gnawed at his essence is gone, replaced by a feeling entirely alien to him: fullness, clarity, and even compassion. Galactus has transformed from the Devourer of Worlds into the Life-Bringer. This new Galactus wastes no time in demonstrating his altered purpose. In a poetic act of redemption, he sets out to resurrect Archeopia, the first world he ever destroyed. Channeling the power cosmic in reverse, Galactus pours energy into the scattered debris that once was Archeopia. Before the astonished eyes of the Ultimates, continents reform. Oceans fill their basins. Long-extinct creatures breathe again under a rejuvenated sun. The civilization that perished eons past reappears, restored to life from oblivion. Galactus the Life-Bringer has given back what Galactus the Devourer once took. News of Galactus's transformation ripples across the universe. Some are hopeful, others deeply unsettled. The cosmic balance has shifted in an unprecedented way. For the first time, there is a being dedicated to creation on the same scale Galactus once dedicated to destruction. And with this new purpose comes a new herald. Galactus transforms a noble man named Anti-Man into his herald of life, a beacon to seek out places in the universe where creation is needed. Galactus, now free of hunger, turns to a grand task that he discovers in his renewed clarity. Eternity, the embodiment of the multiverse, has been mysteriously chained by an ancient cosmic force, the first firmament, the primal universe itself. As the Life-Bringer, Galactus sees it as his duty to help save reality from this threat. But not everyone agrees that Galactus's new benevolent role is right or just. The cosmic entities, Master Order and Lord Chaos, primordial embodiments of the universe's fundamental principles, view Galactus's transformation as a violation of the cosmic order. To them, Galactus was part of the balance as a destroyer. As a creator, he upsets the equation. Along with their servant, the in-betweener, Order and Chaos demand Galactus revert to his world-devouring aspect. Galactus, having tasted the joy of giving life, flatly refuses. Thus, a trial of cosmic importance is convened, not before any lesser court, but in the presence of the living tribunal, the supreme arbiter of cosmic balance. Before the tribunal, Master Order and Lord Chaos argue that Galactus's new state will lead to chaos, too much unchecked life tipping the scales. Galactus, shining in golden hues, counters that the new multiverse, born from recent universal restructurings, is not the same as the old, and a Life-Bringer may be what this era requires. The living tribunal, a towering three-faced cosmic judge, listens in silence and weighs the arguments. Ultimately, the living tribunal leans toward Galactus's perspective, acknowledging that balance can evolve. But just as a verdict is to be rendered, treachery strikes. In a shocking twist, Master Order and Lord Chaos take matters into their own hands. In a combined assault, they slay the living tribunal, a nearly unthinkable act that sends shockwaves across reality. Freed from judgment and consumed by zealotry, Order and Chaos merge with the in-betweener to birth a new composite entity, Logos, the ultimate embodiment of their vision of order. Logos wields godlike power and has a singular goal: force Galactus back to his old self. A cosmic battle erupts. Even as a Lifebringer, Galactus is hard-pressed against the might of Logos. Star systems tremble as Logos summons and slaughters entire Celestials, cosmic giants themselves, to use their energies against Galactus. In a desperate moment, Logos unleashes a beam of reality-warping power that strikes Galactus, transforming him back into the ravenous Devourer of Worlds. The golden light in Galactus's eyes fades, replaced by the familiar burning hunger. His glorious white and gold armor darkens to purple once more. The Lifebringer is seemingly no more. Galactus has been reverted to his old self by force. Yet, hope flickers in the form of the Herald of Life, Anti-Man. Unwilling to let his master lose the goodness he earned, Anti-Man sacrifices his own life in a burst of pure cosmic restoration. His self-immolation sends a shock of energy through Galactus, rekindling the Lifebringer spark. In an instant, Galactus is restored again to his enlightened state, the hunger beaten back by the ultimate gesture of devotion from his herald. In that same moment, the power of Logos falters, the combined being destabilized by unexpected imbalance. Galactus seizes the opportunity to strike, channeling the renewed creative energy within. He dismantles Logos's form, separating Master Order and Lord Chaos, and banishing them along with the stunned in-betweener to parts unknown. In the aftermath, the cosmic hierarchy is shaken. The living tribunal lies dead, though such an entity might yet resurrect given time. Master Order and Lord Chaos, chastened, withdraw their crusade. Galactus, having survived this trial by fire, stands vindicated as the Lifebringer once more. He mourns Anti-Man, his fallen herald, swearing that the sacrifice will not be in vain. Though wearied by conflict, Galactus's resolve to protect the cosmos is stronger than ever. He joins forces with the Ultimates and other cosmic champions to finally confront the first firmament, the primordial foe that imprisoned eternity. In an epic confrontation beyond the veils of space and time, Galactus unleashes his Lifebringer might to shatter the chains holding eternity. The multiverse is freed from its first incarnation's grip, allowing creation and chaos to move forward naturally. In doing so, Galactus secures the very reality that once feared his name. For a shining moment, Galactus has remade himself into a hero of the cosmos, a guardian and creator. It is a redemption beyond imagining, the apex of his eons-long saga. And yet, the story does not end here. Even as he stands in this new role, the wheel of fate continues to turn. In distant corners of space, a shadowy threat begins to gather, a darkness that even a Lifebringer may struggle against. And within Galactus, perhaps buried deeply, the old hunger waits. The next chapters of his existence will test whether this transformation can truly last, or if destiny will call him back to the darker path once more. For all the transformations and trials Galactus has endured, a greater shadow has always loomed from his distant past. In the deep recesses of memory from before time, Galactus, as Galan, witnessed the Black Winter, the cosmic embodiment of multiversal destruction that felled the previous universe. Now, that primordial doom returns to finish what it started. It begins when a battered, half-crazed Galactus crash lands in Asgard, home of the Norse gods. His massive form tumbles from the cosmos and strikes the golden plains, causing earthquakes across the realm eternal. Galactus, now shifted back to his devourer state after years as the life-bringer, for circumstances had eventually conspired to bring back his hunger, is grievously wounded and terrified, emotions rarely seen from the Devourer of Worlds. The All-Father Thor, King of Asgard and God of Thunder, rushes to confront the fallen giant. Galactus, his voice cracking with urgency, delivers a warning that chills even the Thunder God. The Black Winter is coming, and it will claim everything. I have seen it. I have seen the death of all things. Galactus reveals that the Black Winter, known in ancient Asgardian prophecy as the Fimbulwinter, has returned to consume this universe, just as it consumed the last. Galactus has reason to fear. In truth, the Black Winter was the very force that gave birth to Galactus, choosing Galan as a herald in the previous reality's final moments. Now, it seeks to reclaim its herald before destroying the universe. Galactus knows he cannot face this threat alone. In a shocking plea, he asks Thor for help. To fight the Black Winter, Galactus requires an enormous influx of energy, far more than what remains in his weakened state. He has identified 5 rare, mystical planets, each imbued with unique cosmic energies. Consuming these worlds could amplify Galactus to a level high enough to challenge the Black Winter. In exchange for Thor's aid in this endeavor, Galactus offers the power cosmic itself. With little choice against this apocalyptic foe, Thor agrees, albeit warily, to this alliance. Galactus imbues Thor with a portion of his own cosmic might, transforming the Thunder God into his new herald, the Herald of Thunder. Wreathed in cosmic flames and crackling lightning, Thor Odinson becomes a living conduit of both All-Father power and the power cosmic. He guides Galactus to the 5 target worlds one by one. Some are uninhabited, others evacuated under Thor's command to spare innocent lives. With each planet consumed, Galactus's form swells with power, glowing brighter, towering even taller. Thor watches in grim silence as world after world is sacrificed. Though he understands the necessity, the devastation weighs on him. Unbeknownst to Thor, Galactus withholds a dark secret. These 5 planets were not chosen solely to fight the Black Winter. They are also destined to fulfill an ancient prophecy, one Galactus glimpsed long ago. Each consumption pushes Galactus to heights of power, yes, but also closer to a vision he has feared, a vision of his own death at Thor's hands. For Galactus has seen in the Black Winter's reflection the image of Thor as his executioner. At last, engorged with the energy of 5 special worlds, Galactus and Thor confront the Black Winter at the edge of the universe. The Black Winter manifests as a colossal, all-consuming darkness, taking on the silhouette of Thor himself as an omen of doom. It speaks in a voice older than time, calling Galactus its long-lost herald and demanding his service once more. In that moment, Thor realizes the awful truth. Galactus had been using him. Galactus's intention was not simply to stop the Black Winter, but to ensure he alone held the power to possibly survive or escape its judgment, even if it meant sacrificing Thor in the process. Fury ignites within the God of Thunder. Betrayed and seeing that Galactus's actions have endangered as many as they saved, Thor turns on Galactus. Empowered by the combined might of All-Father Odin's force and the stolen power cosmic, Thor unleashes a ferocious attack on the Devourer of Worlds. The battle is earth-shattering. Cosmic lightning lances through Galactus's armored chest, and with each thunderous strike, Thor drains the cosmic energies Galactus absorbed. Galactus fights back with plasma beams and gravitational waves that crush entire moons, but the fully empowered Thor proves overwhelming. In a final, jaw-dropping moment, Thor summons the full strength of the All-Father and focuses it through his hammer Mjolnir. With one mighty swing, he delivers the decisive blow. The energies of 1,000 suns implode within Galactus. With a bellow that echoes across creation, Galactus collapses to his knees. His nearly limitless power, siphoned and expended, leaves him a withered husk, a giant skeletal shell, empty of cosmic fire. The Black Winter looms, eager to claim its fallen herald, but Thor is not finished. Refusing to let this cosmic horror take Galactus and perhaps use him again, Thor acts with brutal finality. He transforms Galactus's inert body into a cosmic bomb. With thunderous might, Thor hurls the desiccated husk of the Devourer directly into the heart of the Black Winter. The corpse detonates in a titanic explosion of remaining power cosmic. The darkness is engulfed by a cascade of blinding light. In one stroke, Thor uses what was Galactus as a weapon to shatter the Black Winter, fulfilling the prophecy in the most dramatic way imaginable. When the glare fades, the Black Winter is torn asunder, reduced to scattering, snowflake-like embers that drift across the void. All that remains of Galactus is his gigantic helmet, tumbling through space before crashing to the surface of a desolate world below a silent monument to the end of an era. The Devourer of Worlds, who had existed since the dawn of this universe, is no more. Thor stands victorious but somber amid the cosmic graveyard, holding within him the heavy knowledge of what has transpired. Galactus, the mighty, the feared, had met his end, not at the hands of some distant cosmic tribunal or vengeful god, but through the very hero he empowered in a sacrificial gambit to halt the ultimate end. The prophecy that Galactus foresaw is fulfilled. Thor was indeed the instrument of his death. In his final moment, Galactus unwittingly achieved something close to redemption, his death ensuring the universe's survival against the Black Winter. The cosmos falls quiet. For the first time in eons, there is no hunger in the stars, no looming purple silhouette heralding doom. It is the end of Galactus's story, at least for now. Galactus is gone, but his legend reverberates throughout the universe. In the silence that follows, civilizations rebuild without the familiar fear of the purple giant's shadow. Yet scholars and cosmic beings alike ponder the ramifications. Galactus was a keystone of cosmic balance. With him removed, what new variables might emerge? Will the universe know a peaceful respite, or will chaos fill the vacuum left by the Devourer's absence? The Watchers record in their chronicles the full saga of Galactus, from Galan of Taa, noble and curious, to the ravaging cosmic force of nature, to the unexpected savior and life-bringer, and finally to the fallen titan who helped save reality at the cost of his own life. In those annals, Galactus is neither demon nor saint, but a being of tragic purpose, doing what he must so that existence can continue. Among the stars, former heralds carry the memory of their one-time master. The Silver Surfer streaks across galaxies, free to chart his own destiny, yet forever shaped by what he learned serving Galactus. In the Surfer's shimmering wake lives a fragment of Galactus's ethos, the understanding that great power carries great burdens. Others, like Firelord, Stardust, and even the remorseful Terrax, each tell tales of the Devourer, some with bitterness, some with awe, all with reverence for the cosmic force he represented. On Earth, the Fantastic Four and their allies remember how close they came to annihilation and how that crucible forged them into greater heroes. Reed Richards occasionally gazes at the stars and wonders if, in the grand scheme, Galactus truly is gone for good. Cosmic entities have a way of returning when the universe needs them, or when fate demands. Somewhere in the far future, at the end of time itself, one can imagine a scenario. As entropy dims the last stars and the final night falls, perhaps a lone figure will stir in the darkness, the faint outline of a giant in ornate armor, witnessing the rebirth of creation once more. After all, Galactus was born from an ending. Who is to say he will not be born again from our universe's end? There are whispers among the cosmos that even in death, the essence of Galactus cannot be extinguished so easily, for he is as much a concept as a being, the constant of destruction that enables renewal. For now, the universe spins on, carrying the legacy of Galactus in its very fabric. His existence forced heroes to become legends, and even gods to question their roles. The planets he devoured and the lives he touched, directly or indirectly, have shaped the course of history on a galactic scale. Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, both feared and, in strange ways, mourned, leaves behind a cosmos forever changed by his presence. His story, a saga of endings and beginnings, stands as a testament that even the most immense power carries with it a destiny that can take forms none anticipate. And as new stars ignite in the void left behind, one truth hums in the cosmic background. Galactus was here. His legend will forever remind those who hear it that from death can come life, from despair can come hope, and from the greatest of evils can emerge the possibility of redemption. The saga of Galactus has ended, but in the grand tapestry of creation, nothing truly ends forever.